I had a rival arranged marriage with my childhood friend. At the time of the license, I hoped and he never speak again. But after the marriage, I but just ordered a few boy toys. He turned to his parents and froze my card. When I saw the balance of my card was getting less and less, I put on a sexy camisole and walked into his bedroom. Hubby, do you think I look good in this outfit? Looking at the balance on my card, proud head supported by a slender neck thudded onto the table. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my bank card. Why is the decimal point moving forward like it's being blown by the wind? Damn it. I blame Sean. This dog man. Said we are business alliance marriage. Don't interfere with each other after marriage. I didn't expect him to backstab me. Just because I went to a bar with my girlfriends to meet the world. He turned around and told my mom about it without thinking. I, on the other hand, was happy to have all my credit cards frozen. Without credit cards, I have no financial resources. And I've searched all my savings cards and I have only $1,000 or $800. It's enough to eat takeout. But not enough to go out. Who's in their 20s when they're at home for 10 days and half a month? I looked at my thin wallet and felt that I needed to do something to save it. I climbed into bed, fished my cell phone out from under the covers, and found Sean's name and called him directly. Hello. What can I do for you? Is this Sean? What happened to the voice? I glanced at the screen of my phone to make sure I hadn't called the wrong number. I cleared my throat. What time are you coming home tonight? I heard the sound of rummaging through things on the other side of the phone and it took about 10 seconds before Sean spoke. I'm not working late today. I'll be off at 5 sharp. What? Are you still going out with Haley tonight to see the world? Cheap man. I cursed in my heart. But the flattery on my lips couldn't fall. I took a few deep breaths, piled on a smile, and tried to sound as caring and loving as possible. Mr. Shaw. People have to move on. Don't mention the past. I'll wait for you to come back for dinner. Come home early, yo. I hung up the phone quickly after saying that, fearing that Sean would choke on me a few more times and directly make me break my defense in place. This was the first time I entered the kitchen after we got married. I pulled open the refrigerator door rather strangely. Looking at the refrigerator full of unfamiliar ingredients was a bit difficult. What does Sean like to eat? I don't know. Sean usually cooks what I like to eat. I just know what he doesn't like to eat. Hey. I had to ask for offsite assistance. I dialed for offsite assistance and called sweetly. Mom. It's me. Evie. I shivered a little at the snarl of my voice. But the person on the other end of the line was clearly flattered. You. Evie baby. Why are you calling me today? I've been calling Sean's mother auntie for over 20 years. But I'm not used to calling her mom. I was a bit embarrassed. I want to cook something for Sean. Sean likes to eat everything. Don't look at him as picky about what he eats. That's when he's with other people. With you. He'll eat whatever you cook. And there's nothing he won't eat. Don't worry and do it boldly. I froze and looked at the phone has been hung up. This hung up? I haven't finished asking. Forget it. I'd better rely on myself. Sean and I are notorious for not getting along. But we are of similar age and family backgrounds. And we have never been separated except for sleeping at night since we were young. Even when we went abroad to study, we both coincidentally chose the same school. When I think of those years when I was a stay-at-home child, it's a handful of bitter tears. Sean and I were trained to be culinary skills cooks from losers who could do nothing but spend money. After returning to China, we seldom cook. And I don't know if our skills have deteriorated. In the next 2 hours, I had a series of kitchen mishaps, including getting hit by oil, fire and cabinet doors. Finally, I was able to get the meal on the table before Sean returned. I nodded in satisfaction at my work and got up to open another bottle of wine. At 6 o'clock sharp, I heard the key in the door. I looked at Sean and couldn't help but smack my lips. This man really was favored by God. From his looks to his family history to his ability, there is nothing that is not top-notch. Broad shoulders, Thin waist. Long legs. And just the right amount of muscle. Who wouldn't love this? Perhaps my eyes were too unrestrained. Sean subconsciously gathered his jacket. Put away your X-ray eyes. I'm not just a guy. Well, a mute would be nice. Sean came over to me and I realized he was carrying something. He put them in the kitchen. Came out. Took off his jacket and threw it on the couch. Then turned around and went back into the kitchen. I leaned against the door panel and watched as Sean rolled his shirt sleeves up to his elbows and took the bag of stuff he'd brought back out and washed it, dividing it into smaller portions and putting it in the fridge. Those were my favorite fruits. As I watched Sean's busy back in the kitchen, I felt like I was back in the years when I studied abroad, waiting for Sean to come back after cooking. And every time Sean came back, he would bring my favorite fruits. I vaguely felt that Sean and I hadn't changed at all. But it seemed that we had become different from before. Sean came out of the kitchen, saw the dishes on the table, and gave me a thumbs up. Progress. Made the dishes before the kitchen was blown up. It did change. His mouth became even bitchier than before. I pulled Sean to sit down, pushed the dish towards him and said with an expectant face, "Try it." Sean's eyes paused for a moment. "If you don't have anything to offer, you're either a thief or an adulterer." "Sean, is that what I am to you?" I looked at Sean with a cold face. Sean looked at me for a moment and shook his head. "You're worse than this kind of person. Every time you cook for me. Let's not talk about the things you begged me to do. But what's the point of putting me in the hospital every time? Do you have friends in the hospital? Are you going to use me to get KPIs if you don't meet your performance standards? At least they are only after my money. But you are after my life." I looked away a bit weakly. What Sean said is the truth. The years of being a stayer only allowed Sean to work out from a waist that could do nothing but spend money into a culinary skills cook. And I'm still the same waist. Sean picked up his chopsticks and took a bite of the dish and put it in his mouth. "It's not bad. There's progress. But tonight it's just vegetables and no rice?" I was confused. "Rice?" I sobered up. "Rice." I scratched my head. "I forgot to make it. It's okay to eat vegetables. Vegetables can fill you up," I said as I picked up my chopsticks and put the vegetable into my mouth. The moment the vegetable entered my mouth I felt as if my neck was being pinched and it was hard to breathe. Blah. 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 I spit out the dish. My mouth was still salty. A cup of water was handed over from the side. I took it and dunked it several times. "Sean, how did you eat such awful food? Don't eat it. I'll order you takeout," I said, getting up and going for my cell phone when my hand was pulled. Sean sat on the chair, tilted his head slightly and looked at me with a smile. "Evelyn, I have a heavy mouth and your cooking is right up my alley." Sean's face popped into my head for the 32nd time. I'm a little cranky." Haley had seen it coming and was minding her own business, swiping her phone to look at cute guys. "What's the matter? Lust?" Haley took a sip of her milk tea, and her eyes seemed to grow with her cell phone, not even giving me a little bit of spare light. "My parents froze my cards. I'm broke." "You're penniless? What about your husband?" "Your husband is rich as hell. And he's willing to see you penniless?" I gritted my back teeth and said viciously. "It's Sean, I'm the one who's in this situation." Haley finally got around to taking her eyes off the handsome man and onto me. "If you ask me, you should just give in to Sean. You two are married anyway. So it's good that you're married. Sean and I are in a business alliance marriage. No relationship." As if she heard a joke, Haley laughed uncontrollably, wiping her tears for a while before stopping. "You and Sean don't have a relationship. That's the funniest joke I've heard all year." I didn't bother with her. I just gave her a "you're sick" look. "You don't have a relationship with Sean yet." Haley's eyes swept up and down my entire body, finally resting on my stomach. I waved my hand. "Don't look. Sean and I have been sleeping in separate beds since we got married. He gets up early and I get up late. We sometimes don't see each other for 2 or 3 days." Haley blinked in disbelief. You two sleep in separate rooms and Sean can't stand it? What does that mean? What do you mean? Sean's like a big man every day. He comes home, sleeps in, wakes up and leaves. What can't he put up with? Haley pulled me over and asked me in a low voice. I have an idea that will make you rich. Do you want to hear it? My eyes lit up. I've really had enough of this life. I want to go out now. I want to eat and drink and shop. I nodded my head and listened carefully to Haley's idea. It's not that I don't trust Haley. It's just that this idea is a bit unorthodox. It's not that I don't believe in Haley. With my understanding of Sean, he's a man who doesn't get close to women. If he hadn't agreed to arranged marriage with me, I would have wondered if he was gay. I looked at Haley's determined look and asked with some uncertainty. Are you sure Sean will take the bait? Haley patted me on the shoulder. Go ahead and don't come back for me. While I was picking out my robe, Sean's call came in. What are you doing? Mom wants us to come back for dinner tonight. I realized that Sean's voice on the phone with me was different from his usual voice. And it was quite nice. I'll meet you there later and we'll go home together. Okay. Okay. After hanging up the phone, I was a little sorry that my plans were going to be postponed. It was my first time to go to Shaw Tower. And when it was time to leave work, everyone was heading out. But I was the only one who went in against the flow of people. I took the elevator directly to Sean's floor. And when the door opened, I bumped into someone outside. I looked up at him. Sean? Sean raised his wrist and looked at his watch. You're quite punctual today. You're not late. I gave Sean a blank look. It's a good thing he's good looking. Or else his mouth would have gotten him into trouble sooner or later. When we arrived at Shaw Family Estate, I took the gifts I prepared out of the car and handed them to Sean. Sean asked, Is your card working? I looked at Sean like a fool and said, No. It's on your account. Remember to ask your assistant to go over and settle the bill. Compared to going to Shaw Family Estate empty-handed, I was more willing to go to the mall and use Sean's name to pay for the bill on credit. I took a few steps and realized Sean wasn't following me. Why are you standing there? Waiting for dinner. I'm starving. Oh. Okay. Here we go. I looked at the way Sean carried his things towards me, and suddenly thought that he was kinda dumb. At the dinner table, Sean's mom didn't stop to ask when we were going to have a baby. But Sean blocked it out without a trace. I'm responsible for eating. He is responsible for answering questions. A meal down. Not eat much food, talk not less. Sean is a workaholic. He does not have the habit of eating breakfast. Lunch is not eaten on time. And then do not eat much at night. Sooner or later, the stomach disease repeated hunger. I eat myself at the same time. Also do not forget to give Sean Clip food. Sean also very cooperative. Clip what to eat what. Sean and his father are talking about company matters. I do not understand at all. Just seriously dry rice. I was just about to peel a shrimp when a hand reached out to me and took it away. Sean was talking to his dad while looking down at the shrimp. Something Haley said popped into my head. Was there really no feelings between Sean and I? I tilted my head to look at Sean in an attempt to see something on his face. But there was nothing. He still had the same bland expression. Put the shrimp into my bowl and turned his head to continue talking to his dad. As if it was all natural. After dinner, Sean and his dad went to the den. And Sean's mom and I watched TV in the living room. Sean's mom pulled me in. Evie, stay at home tonight. I nodded in response. Sean's mom saw that the door to the study was closed tightly. And the father and son inside probably couldn't come out for a few hours. She didn't know where to turn over a photo album and handed it to me. Look. This is full of Sean's childhood photos. I was a little surprised. But also a little curious. Before I want to see this album Sean did not allow. But also said that his childhood is to be left to the future wife to see. When I opened the first page, it said, the baby was born. The newborn Sean was wrinkled, tiny and spent most of his time sleeping. The baby fat had faded since he was 3 and was a vague shadow of his current self. I pointed to a picture of Sean crying and asked, What's wrong with this one? Sean's mom took one look at it and looked away. Bedwetting. He had his first and last bedwetting when he was 6. I can't remember what I said at the time. I think I said that no little girl likes a bedwetting boy. No wonder Sean wouldn't let me see it. It's full of embarrassing stories from when he was a kid. Since I was a teenager. There were very few pictures of Sean in it. Most of them were pictures of Sean and me together. Sean's mom looked at the photos and said with some nostalgia, "I really didn't expect my childhood birthday wish to come true." When Sean came out, I was still sitting on the couch looking through his photo album. He came over to me and sat down next to me. "My mom showed you all of this. Sean, you were so ugly and wrinkled when you were born." Sean unexpectedly didn't contradict me. He just looked at me for a moment and took the album from me. "Yeah. When I was first born, my mom thought I was ugly and told my dad to get a good-looking one. When I went to bed at night, I was in trouble. At home, Sean and I sleep in separate rooms. And I'm sure I'll be hounded if I don't sleep together at Shaw Family Estate. And if I do, I listened to the sound of water in the bathroom, gritted my teeth and crossed my heart. What to be afraid of as an exercise?" Sean came out of the shower and I had already gotten under the covers and laid down. I closed my eyes and turned my back to Sean. But I could still feel him lifting the covers and half the bed sinking in. With the light off, I could clearly hear my heart beating. Nervous? So nervous that my palms were starting to sweat. I woke up from the heat. I opened my eyes to see Sean's enlarged face and my arms and legs wrapped around him. Sleeping and frowning. Is something tricky going on? Sean's hand was on my waist and I carefully withdrew from his arms. I had just rolled over and was about to reach for my phone to check the time when I was hugged from behind. Sean circled my waist and rested his head against my shoulder. His voice a little husky. "Awake? Uh-huh. Why aren't you at work yet? Took the day off. It's still early. Sleep a little more." I didn't say a word or move, letting Sean hold me quietly. I thought, maybe Sean and I are not without feelings for each other. Since the last time we were at Shaw Family Estate, there seemed to be some subtle changes in the relationship between Sean and me. He would call me when he was free to talk about something. And he wouldn't be preoccupied with his work, often asking me out to watch a movie or something. I asked Haley what Sean's mentality was. Haley poked me in the forehead with some hatred. "How did Sean meet such an elm brain like you?" I agreed. Haley hooked her finger and asked in a low voice, "How are you preparing for the idea I gave you last time?" When she saw that I didn't say anything, Haley knew that I was scared. She pulled me in front of the mirror. "What are you scared of? Ting Xining? You've got a face and a body that a woman like me can't get enough of. Let alone Sean. Sister. Punch it and you're done. You're sure to succeed." I pumped myself up with both hands and fists. Haley is right. Why should I be a wimp? Maybe it's Sean who won't make it. With my mind made up, I immediately went home and got ready. Cooking is not for me, so I skipped this step. Drinking is easy to miss, so I also omitted it. In the end, I realized that everything I could do was omitted. I waited for Sean to get off work. From day to night. From the sofa to the bed. And finally fell asleep because I was so sleepy. When I was sleeping soundly, I felt that someone was lifting my blanket. What kind of bastard? When I opened my eyes, I saw Sean pinching the corner of the quilt, somewhat awkwardly at the side of my bed. Standing or not sitting. Sean had just finished showering. His hair was still dripping. And his body smelled of my shower gel. I don't know if I was mesmerized by Sean or woken up by Haley's words. Moving my position to Sean. "Honey. You're back." Sean heard me call out to him and looked into my eyes for a moment of bemusement. Stumbling. "You called me?" I tapped the empty seat. "Who else?" Sean's eyes flashed with surprise and he got into bed and took me into his arms. I was so sleepy or I would have told him to get his hands off me. My back was about to be strangled. I woke up early and made Sean breakfast. I'm not a very good cook, but I'm a great porridge cook. After Sean washed up, I finished making the congee. "Are you up? Come and eat." Sean came over. pulled me down and kissed me on the cheek. Thank you. I don't know if Sean is used to this sudden closeness between us. I am not repulsed by it. But rather I am looking forward to it and enjoying it. I envisioned so many scenarios. I finally chose the most direct. I reached out my hand towards Sean. Honey. I don't have any money to spend. Can you support me? Sean looked at me and turned to go inside. No. Angry? Why are you angry? At least finish the kanji if you are angry. Here you go. When Sean came back, he took a card in his hand and put it in my hand. And went back to continue drinking kanji. This card looks familiar. My dad seems to have given one to my mom. And it's said to be an unlimited card. I took the card and asked with some uncertainty. For me? Sean nodded. With shaking hands. I resisted the urge to kiss the black and gold card. And first wrapped my arms around Sean and kissed him. Sean. You're too good to be true. Love you. The plan was aborted. But thankfully the purpose was not deviated. I called up Haley to go mall shopping with me. Haley looked at my face. Sisters are making good progress. I touched my face. Is it that obvious? Can you tell just by looking at your face? Haley was speechless by my action. Okay. Don't touch it. You can't tell just by looking at your face. But you've asked me out for a shopping trip. So doesn't that mean it's going well? Out shopping is also to pass the time. Haley and I casually into a store. The clerk saw me and Haley and greeted us. Mrs. Shen. Miss Hua. What are you looking for? I recognized that this was the store where I got credit last time. Did you settle the bill last time? Mr. Shen has already settled it. Haley didn't know about this and turned her head to ask me with her eyes what the last payment was. I whispered to Haley. Last time I went to Shaw Family Estate for dinner. I used Sean's name to buy something here on credit. Haley was silent. Then gave me a thumbs up. You're good. No one but Sean can stand you. If it wasn't for him, my card wouldn't have been frozen. And if it wasn't, I wouldn't have to buy on credit. It's Sean's problem. Haley and I were walking out the door as we talked when a sharp female voice suddenly caught my eye. Why can't I get credit? The clerk said. Ma'am. There is no such thing as bookkeeping in this store. And you can't take the merchandise if you don't pay for it. This gossip heart of mine was instantly drawn up, pulling Haley to a halt, ready to squat a follow-up on the spot. What? Are you being funny? Do you know who I am? Do you know who my cousin is? The clerk sounded a little helpless. Probably because she hadn't seen this kind of person before either. Ma'am. No matter who you are. This store doesn't have that kind of talk. My cousin is Sean. It's just a bag. I don't need a bag. Sean. Cousin? Haley looked at me. Sean has a cousin? I shook my head. I've never heard of Sean having a sister in all the time I've known him. Excuse me. Ma'am. I fished out my phone and sent Sean a message. How come I didn't know you had a cousin? Buzzing was the cell phone vibrating. I didn't know I had one myself. There's a girl who says she's your cousin. And she's buying a bag inside a mall to charge it to your account. I was watching the show with my teeth bared when I was suddenly named. A clerk came over and said somewhat helplessly. Mrs. Shen. Could I trouble you for a moment? There's a lady in the store who says she's Mr. Shen's sister and wants to charge it to Shaw Family Estate. Me? I waved my hand to say I didn't recognize her. But before I could say anything, Haley pushed me down. Sure. Let's go take a look. Sean doesn't even know he has a cousin. How am I supposed to know her? Send Sean a message and tell him to come over. Haley whispered to me. This is the only way. I should have known not to watch the fun. Mr. Shen. Come meet your cousin. I've been detained too. Mr. Shen. Come meet your cousin. Be right there. I collected my cell phone and followed the clerk over. When Sean arrived, 3 of us took a seat. Sean didn't look at anyone else. He entered and walked straight to me. What's going on? I shrugged. Let them tell me. I'm just a spectator. The clerk told me what happened in general and Sean nodded as he listened. Cousin listened to the clerk and stepped forward to wrap her arms around Sean. When I saw this scene, I couldn't help but feel a moment of silence for Cousin. Who does not know Sean is a not close to women's He even eat oranges, do not eat the mother orange. Relatives are relatives, dare to top the wind. Unsurprisingly, Sean's face darkened and he said in a cold voice, "Let go." I saw Cousin's thin body shaking a little. But his hand still stubbornly did not let go. People nah. Expensive to have eyesight. Obviously Cousin should not have. I repeat. Let go. This time Sean's voice was clearly impatient. Even if Cousin wanted to get close again, he didn't dare not to let go. Cousin. TSK. This voice. It really made people numb half of their body. I don't care who you are. The rule here is to pay with one hand and deliver with the other. Don't use my name to get close to me. Sean's words managed to make Cousin turn pale, but also gave her face to the maximum extent. After all, did not say he did not know Cousin. Cousin bit her lower lip. I know. I'm satisfied that I got to see a play for free while shopping in a mall. I look at Haley and then Sean. Let's go have dinner together? You two go ahead. I have something to do. So I'll leave first. Haley winked at me and left. Sean stood next to me and took my hand as if no one else was there. That girl just put her arm around me. Why didn't you push her away? Do I look like I'm that cranky? What if she really is your cousin? I don't think it's a good idea for me to get involved. What's wrong with that? I'm your husband and you're letting other girls get close to me. Do you not like me? I subconsciously retorted. I don't. Only after I said that did I realize how this no was like a confession in disguise. But it didn't matter. Sean was grinning like a fishy cat at the moment. The meal in the end did not eat. Shaw Family Estate Mom called me and Sean back. We both entered the house feeling that something was wrong with the atmosphere of the house. And at the sight of the person sitting on the couch, I was thankful that I hadn't actually pushed her away. Sean skipped over Cousin with a flat expression. Mom. What's the matter with calling us both back? Shin's mom waved at me and I obediently walked over to sit next to her. This is your distant cousin. Aunt and sister. I heard that you guys have already met. Cousin averted her eyes a bit shyly, not looking at Sean, but her gaze turned to me in a less friendly way. I thought to myself that I hadn't offended her. Sean was fearless and honest. I've met her and impressed Evie and I. He deliberately bit the sound of the word. Cousin's face white for a moment quickly recovered. Cousin's uncle did not know what was going on here. And said enthusiastically. This is Sean and Xining. Isn't it? What a perfect match. Sean's cousin uncle. No matter whether it is a distant neighbor or not. I cannot refute the face of others. Should be called people have to call people. Cousin uncle. Aunt. Cousin's expression is similar to Cousin's. When she looks at Sean, it's like a mother-in-law looking at her son-in-law and getting more and more satisfied. But she doesn't even want to give me a look. TSK. Why do I feel that the visitor is not good? My hand was grabbed by someone. It was Sean's mom. I met her line of sight. And realized. They are indeed bad people. And they are still here for Sean. It's not a good idea to find a handsome man as a husband. It's too attractive to attract butterflies. During the meal, Cousin intentionally or unintentionally squeezed in between Sean and me. Cousin asked. Cousin. Can I sit here? Cousin's intelligence is a bit worrying. After what happened just now. She still thought Sean would be nice to her. No. Sean refused without even thinking. Among the people present, except for Sean's mom and I, the other 3 members of the family had different expressions. Sean said. Evie. Sit over here. Originally, I could have sat anywhere. And I wasn't interested in competing with the cousin. But Sean asked me to come over. So there was no reason for me not to. I was probably the only one eating seriously at this table. My cousin's family is from Linshire. And he came to see Sean's mom on his way out to play. So naturally he stayed at Shaw Family Estate at night. I finished eating and went upstairs. Sean came up later. When I entered the house and locked the door, I looked at Sean and asked, Are you going home tonight? My mom just said we should go home. I can't stay here tonight. I think I know who Sean learned how to tell lies. Sean and I hadn't been home long when his phone rang. And I didn't have to look to know who it was. Sean took the phone and went into the study while I went to get ready to wash up and go to bed. While getting my things, I saw the robe I had carefully selected. It was quite an expensive purchase. And it was a bit of a shame that I hadn't worn it once. I thought about it and took the clothes into the bathroom. When I got out of the shower, Sean hadn't finished his phone call. I looked down at my sexy halter dress. And after doing some mental construction, I resolutely knocked on the door of the study. Knock knock. Pushing the door open, I poked my head in. Can I come in? Sean hung up the phone and nodded at me. I straightened my skirt outside the door before pushing it open and walking in. Sean didn't take his eyes off me from the moment he saw me. I walked up next to Sean. Honey, do I look good in this? It looks good. Before I came in, I did a little cramming, thinking about the moves taught in the video. Hooked Sean's neck, turned around and sat on his lap. I didn't pay attention and almost fell down. Luckily Sean was quick to support my waist and avoided a close contact with the floor. I said, sorry. It's my first time. I'm not very good at this. Sean's hand on my waist moved back and forth. Besides me, who else do you want to do business with? I have a lot of suitors. I can't do business with anyone. It doesn't have to be you. I said this in a circle in my head. Did not dare to say out. I said, a little fawningly, there's no one else. Sean hugged me and rested his head on my shoulder. Dinson, have you decided? No regrets? Why should I regret it? Sean's voice was a bit muffled. I've always been the only one by your side. You've never been in contact with anyone else. There might be someone better and more suitable for you than me. Sean, this is not confident? Sean, like that is pretty rare. I hugged Sean back and softened my voice. Sean, even if someone better and more suitable for me than you comes along, he's one step behind you. My neck stung. I almost popped out of Sean's arms. Sean, you're a dog. What are you biting me for? Sean said. To leave a mark on you. So that no one will miss you. Who is always being missed by others? Then he'll bite you too. So you won't be missed. Good. I'm not kidding. I heard a hint of excitement in Sean's words. This pervert. Sean carried me back to the bedroom and gently put me on the bed. In the dimly lit room, Sean's eyes were the only ones that were shining. His kisses were light, falling delicately on my body. From forehead to eyes. From cheeks to the tip of my nose. And finally settling on my lips. His lips were soft and hot. Not unlike his person. But it was all the same to my liking. I looked at Sean and whispered. Sean. I like you a little more than I thought I would. In a thoughtful sort of way. It's not because we're getting married that I like you. It's because I like you that I agreed to get married. In the darkness, I couldn't see Sean's expression. But I could feel Sean's body stiffen for a moment and then tremble a little as he asked. As if in some disbelief. You like me? I knew that Sean might not be able to see my expression. I still nodded my head forcefully. Well, I like you. Dinesh likes Sean. A lot. I like you too. Sean likes tinseling too. Very. Very much. I don't know if it's because of the sharing of thoughts. Sean's movements are no longer gentle. He bites my lips so hard that I feel like my lips might have been bitten through. Sean confirmed in my ear over and over again. Evie. Have you really decided? No regrets? If you want to reconsider, I can give you time. I sometimes really admire Sean's endurance. Even at this point in time, he still thinks about shrinking back. Haley said something wrong. I'm not the one who's chickening out. The one who's chickening out is obviously Sean. I raised my arm around Sean's neck. Slightly force. Close to his neck, hard bite. Provocative. Sean. You are not a man. So goat? Don't let me look down on you. Okay? Sean seemed to be angered by my words, pulling me to accompany him to sink again and again. It was not until the east turned white that we embraced each other and went to sleep. I vaguely remember that before I fell asleep. Sean said in my ear in a voice that was too light to be whispered. Ding Xining. You don't want to run away anymore. You can't run away in this life. I wanted to swing my arm round and give Sean a chestnut. Am I the kind of person who just eats up and walks away? I'll be responsible for you. As a result of this lack of moderation, Sean and I got up late the next day. When I opened my eyes, Sean was already awake and smiled sweetly at me. Morning, honey. Morning. I turned around and closed my eyes. Tired. So tired. So tired I didn't want to move a finger. Sean didn't look like much. But I didn't realize he had so much stamina. I made a mistake. Sean's doggy paws climbed up my waist again. I didn't bother to lift my hand to stop him. Stop for a while. I'm going to die of exhaustion. Sean heatedly smiled. I just learned a set of massage techniques. Why don't I help you press a little? Massage. What else? 2 hours later. Shit. I shouldn't have trusted Sean. Damn, Sean has had his fill. What about me? What about me? My already tired body just got worse. I'm dead tired. Sean made the meal and brought it to me curtly. Honey. Eat before you go to bed. I didn't want to talk to Sean. But my tummy threw in the towel first. I ate a bowl of congee with my eyes closed. And my sleepiness was finally relieved. Sean finished cleaning up and accompanied me to lie on the bed. I found a movie to watch. But as I watched it, my mind was not on the movie anymore. I asked. Sean. When did you like me? I thought you'd never ask me. I told him to cut the crap and get to it. I heard a different version of the story from Sean. You remember that picture of me bedwetting when you were looking through the photo album? That was Sean's embarrassing story. How could I not remember that? But what does that have to do with the photo? I remember it. Why? It was after I met you. Bedwetting isn't a big deal for kids. But my mom likes to make me cry. She knew I knew you from somewhere. And followed you around every day. Bringing you goodies. So she scared me that if I ever bedwetted, she'd have to tell you to stay away from me. And not to play with me. I was silent. Sean's mom seemed like someone who would say those things. No wonder Sean's mom's expression was so unnatural when she saw the picture at the Shaw family estate. So what was your birthday wish that came true when you were a kid? I vaguely remember Sean's mom saying this. It was a birthday wish I made every year from age 7 to 17. If you look back in the photo album, you'll find a picture of you on your 18th birthday. That was my last birthday wish. And I hope you'll always be happy. I asked curiously. Why has it changed? Sean's arm around me tightened. And his face turned a little red. There's no reason. There's no reason. It's just that I wished for whatever came to my mind. Sean is not willing to say. I did not pursue the question. We still have a long life ahead of us. His little secret. Sooner or later. One day. I will know.